episode of Success Stories. We're joined tonight by Andrew Taylor from AunicaHealth. Andrew, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Excited to talk about this new app that you and your team have created. Can you tell us about AunicaHealth?
Yes, AunicaHealth is an AI companion. It's in the mental health well-being space, and what we're seeing is a lot of AI usage is being used for therapy. It's the number 4th usage in ChatGPT.
Really?
Is therapy. And it's just interesting. People are able to, all hours of the day, with even more privacy than talking to a therapist, they're going in and talking about personal things and asking for advice. And for the most part, it does a good job, but it's also got some safety issues and limitations and some understandable concerns. And that's where Aunica comes in as an app that is developed through the lens of a therapist. And so it's got a chat feature that's much more safe and is what you'd call a differentiated model within the AI space that is answering everything through the lens of a therapist.
I love that. So I think we're all familiar with a lot of the words you just said. Let's put them together, make sure I understand. We're familiar with AI. Mm-hmm. It's here, right? Whether we're nervous about it or not, it's here. People are using it for different things. That's amazing that the number 4 use of ChatGPT with all the uses out there is for therapy, which highlights the importance of looking at this through a therapeutic lens. Talk to me a little bit more about what is an AI companion. How does that work?
So, like I said, so people are going to AI for advice and to talk about personal things. And what we've done at Aunica is we recognize that while that's not always the best idea, that it's going to happen. And so we are using Aunica through therapists and coaches and mentors. So we require people to be working with a professional to be able to use Aunica. It's an app. So if I have a session, I do coaching and mentoring, and I set goals with my client. They walk out of that office. Maybe we have an incredible session. They walk out of there and the goals are lost, the follow-through's lost, all of those things. And so what Aunica does is it's going to allow me to put our mutual goals, your goals, into Aunica. Aunica is going to prompt you in the morning, prompt you in the evening, check in on your mood. Did you do your goals? Are you working on the things that you discussed? Are you taking notes? You can journal, you can do meditations, you can do all these things. And maybe there's a couple moments during the week where you're like, I'd really like some quick advice, and I wish I was with my therapist, but you're not. Or I wish I was getting good advice through this lens, and you don't know where to go to get it. You can jump on to this app, and it's a companion. And it's like, I'll give you an example. I have a client who was a couple months sober. He was hanging out with his buddies, and he said, his buddies were like, why don't you go smoke a cigarette? Like, you could still be sober and smoke a cigarette. He's like, what should I do? And he got on to AI and said, should I smoke a cigarette? And the answer was, well, congrats on the sobriety. I mean, you can, but here are the reasons why you probably shouldn't. And he made the decision to not. And that's, a simple example, but a good one of where a tool like this can be really helpful. It's like having a therapist in your pocket that's well-informed, is going to give you safe information and be helpful in a moment of need.
I love that. And that's the visual I had, is you have a therapist there with you any time of day, right? Because it was probably late at night, he's hanging out with his friends and he couldn't call, his therapist. But that's so fascinating. And it really highlights the safety and the guardrails that you've implemented with this app.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's a few criticisms of using AI for therapy or advice, personal advice, we'll say. One is safety, obviously. Is it going to give you misinformation? Is it going to give you bad advice? That's one thing people are concerned about, and it's a legitimate concern. And that's why we won't let anyone work on our app without having a therapist or coach or someone else. And we have a back-end portal that's helping understand how that client is trending and using the app. So we have someone helping and making sure they're not abusing the app. Some people, the other consideration or concern is that some people are becoming addicted to their chat companion. And we don't want that either. Sometimes these chats, I mean, a lot of these chats have been developed to be positive and to be affirming. And so they can be a bit of an echo chamber, where sometimes real hard therapy is not an echo chamber. It is hard feedback and those types of things. And so, again, Aunica's gone through, we've had a number of therapists help us develop it. We've also had a lot of therapeutic and clinically informed databases. So, for example, if you got on with Aunica right now and said, I'm feeling really dangerous, I'd like to harm myself, Aunica is not going to give you advice related to that. Aunica is going to say, you need to talk to a mental health professional right away. And that's a safety feature that's important and a difference in terms of what we're trying to create in terms of safety and guardrails.
Right, because you don't find that with the day-to-day just hopping on ChatGPT.
I don't want to speak for those. I don't know, but like they're much broader, and so that's where there have been problems with some of those larger platforms.
Yes, I've read about that. Such an important point you brought up to punctuate is this is sitting behind the technology is an actual certified therapist or mental health specialist, right?
Right. So what we've created at Aunica is a portal with which the therapist, the coach, the mentor, they're getting data on how their client is using Aunica. Now, if I'm looking at that portal and I see my client spent 500 minutes this week on Aunica, I might have a conversation around, hey, I'm not getting the details of what that chat is about, but I'm getting the general mood of the week and the goals that we've set together. Are they meeting them or not? Which is really helpful for follow through on the coaching we're doing. But I'm also going to say, what are you using this for? And are you overusing it? Should we pull back? Should we stop the app? Is this becoming an addiction or, an obsession? Or are you overusing this in a way that's unhealthy? This is meant to be a healthy tool. That's just one example. And so we've got these controls in place to make sure that our clients are using it responsibly.
And I'm picturing it talking directly to the client also with those data and guardrails and tools in place. What a powerful tool for the parents of a minor who needs some mental health support, right? That they can actually feel good knowing this data is being tracked. It's not a guessing game as to how it's being used and that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, again, there's a lot of therapists out there that are like, don't use this for therapy. And they're not necessarily wrong. Don't use AI, right? Mm-hmm. Or just a random chat for therapy. They're not wrong. And people are going to keep doing it, right?
It's here.
And people are going to, and I've done it. It's great. I've been, 10 in the morning on a Monday. I'm like, I'm done with the day. I'm already done with the week. I don't want to be here. Whatever. You're having a hard day and you go and it's like, hey, keep rolling. You got this.
Yeah.
It's like,
start here.
And then what are you feeling? I'm frustrated about this situation. Oh, here's some advice on that. And it's like, cool. Now I'm not a vulnerable population. Usually, I don't think I am. And that can get really complex if someone's got a real serious disorder. And so I'm not advocating for this necessarily, people to use this as a tool, or at least just any chat as a tool. But I am saying that there is benefit out there, and that's a reason people are trying to use these tools for that. AI will get better, all platforms. Aunica is on a really great start to be that safer option for this kind of usage. And therapists out there that are scared of AI or are hesitant to use AI, it's coming. And what I tell them is you're not going to get replaced by AI. It doesn't replace a person. It supplements. You're going to get replaced by another therapist who's using AI.
Mm-hmm. It's a tool for the therapist and for the user.
We still need those humans.
Yes.
We still need that human interaction. Nothing replaces that.
So as you are leaning into the technology and finding a solution for the AI, talk to me about the broader spectrum. Where is mental health as an industry headed?
We're in a mental health crisis right now. And not to go too far down that rabbit hole, but, the technology, ironically, the screens, and I would say specifically social media have rocked our younger generations and our older generations. I struggle with screen addiction as well. And I think that many books have been written, many podcasts have been spoken about, but just the impact that these technologies, especially like social media, are having on our mental health, we're going to feel those for a very long time. And getting access to mental health is tough. It's getting harder every day. It's harder to get in the doors of a therapist. Programs are very expensive, even my own. You know, there's just limitations there. We're hoping insurance can do more. Insurance is always going to be a struggle. How do we serve all these people? And I don't have that solution right now, but I do think that these apps and that this AI companion is a very affordable solution as it gets better to be able to help people access mental health care, good advice, good support when they need it and more affordably.
I love that. Kudos to you and your team for meeting people and technology at that intersection of where we are now. And I know you'll continue to grow and develop this. Is there anything else that you want people to know about Aunica?
No, AunicaHealth.com. And check it out. Be open-minded. We're excited, and I think you'll see more as time goes on.
Perfect. AunicaHealth.com. Thank you so much, Andrew, for being here and talking this through with us.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.